Hello and a very warm welcome. I am Gushin Garland and you're watching Firstpost. In the next few minutes, I get you the top 50 updates from around the world, only here on Fast and Factual. Let's get started. First in from the West Asia, nearly 5 months after the death of former Hamas chief Ismail Haniyeh, Israel for the first time has acknowledged the involvement in the former Hamas chief's death. Defence Minister Israel Katz confirmed his country's role during a speech where he vowed to kill senior leaders of Yemen-based Houthis. Katz said the way Israeli forces killed Hamas and Hezbollah leaders in Tehran, Gaza and Lebanon, that's the same way it will be done in Hodeidah and Sana'a in Yemen. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said there was progress in the ongoing hostage negotiations with Hamas. However, Netanyahu added that he was not sure how much time will it take to see the results. He also said IDF's military pressure on Hamas has led its leaders to soften their demands, and his country made great achievements militarily on several fronts. Houthis said they carried out 2 drone operations targeting Israeli military positions. The first operation was carried out in the southern city of Ashkelon, and the second operation targeted a military site in Tel Aviv. Houthis spokesperson said the attacks will continue until Israel stops its attacks in Gaza. A Russian delegation met Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian in Tehran on Monday. The 2 countries will likely sign a comprehensive cooperation agreement. The deal would foster close ties between both the nations on defense front. The Russian delegation also invited Pezeshkian to visit Russia early in 2025. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky criticized the meeting between Slovakian Prime Minister Robert Fico and Russian President Vladimir Putin on Sunday. Zelensky said that Fico lacked desire to end his country's dependency on Russian natural resources. He also called it a big security issue for Europe and Slovakia. Fico said he met President Putin after Zelensky made it clear that Ukraine will not renew a gas transit contract amid its ongoing war with Russia. Luigi Mangione, the 26-year-old man accused of fatally gunning down UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson, pleaded not guilty on Monday to New York State murder charges. Mangione said not guilty when he was asked how he pleaded to the 11-count indictment charging him with murder as an act of terrorism and weapons offences. Thompson was shot dead on December 4. Sebastian Zapata, a 33-year-old man who was charged with a first-degree murder and arson on Monday. He allegedly lit a woman on fire and saw her getting burned to death on a subway station in New York's Brooklyn. Zapata was identified by a group of teenagers who recognized him from photos released by the police. Investigators say he has no links to the victim. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum extended support to Panama's government on Monday. She said the Panama Canal belonged to the Panamanians. Her comments came after U.S. President-elect Donald Trump threatened to take over the Panama Canal. Trump accused Panama of letting China manage the key passage. A subsidiary of a Hong Kong-based firm has managed 2 ports located on the Caribbean and Pacific entrances to the Central American waterway. France unveiled its new government on Monday. The new team comprised both former ministers and senior civil servants. Eric Lombard, who was the head of the investment arm of the French government, became finance minister. Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot and Defence Minister Sébastien Lecornu also retained their posts. And Elizabeth Borne, who stepped down as Prime Minister in January, became the new Education Minister. Romania's outgoing President Klaus Iohannis has reappointed current Prime Minister Marcel Ciolacu to form a new government. The new cabinet is expected to easily win the confidence vote as the Social Democratic Party won most seats in the December 1 parliamentary election. At least 15 people sustained injuries in a car crash in Russian capital Moscow. A bus collided with a fire truck which was crossing the intersection on a red light. After the collision, the fire truck smashed into other cars that were waiting at the traffic light. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi attended Christmas celebrations on Monday. The event was organized by the Catholic Bishops' Conferences of India in capital New Delhi. Prime Minister Modi highlighted the teachings of Jesus Christ on love and brotherhood and said that the country was moving ahead with collective efforts of citizens. India has made some big changes to its education policy. It has abolished the no detention policy for classes 5 and 8 in the schools. Under the revised policy, students who fail the year-end exams may now be held back. If students fail to meet the promotion criteria after the regular exams, they will get another opportunity to take a re-examination. However, if they fail in that also, then they will continue to remain in the same class. Albanian opposition leader Sali Berisha led a protest against the current government on Monday. He demonstrated a month after being released from the house arrest. Berisha urged his supporters to block the main roads of capital Tirana. Minor scuffles also broke out between protesters and police in at least 2 locations. Berisha has demanded a caretaker government before the parliamentary elections scheduled for May 11th. The South Korean Constitutional Court will hold the first public hearing on President Yoon impeachment case on December 27. The court will decide if Yoon will be removed from office. It has to pronounce a verdict within 180 days. If the Constitutional Court removes Yoon or he resigns himself, then a presidential election will be held within the country in 60 days. In climate news, a powerful storm battered California's central coast on Monday, causing widespread flooding and dangerously high surf. A man was killed after being trapped beneath debris on beach, and a partially collapsed pier sent 3 people into the Pacific Ocean. A severe snowstorm swept across the Balkans on Monday, disrupting traffic, closing schools and leaving thousands without power in Croatia and Bosnia. In Slovenia, rescue efforts were hampered as harsh weather stranded 2 Hungarian hikers in the Alps. Japan experienced intense snowfall on Monday as large chunks of snow were seen falling from rooftops. A powerful winter pressure system is blanketing much of the country. According to Japanese Weather Department, snowfall reached at least 20 centimeters in many areas. Cyclone Chido has claimed at least 120 lives in Mozambique, according to the country's disaster management agency. The storm, which first struck Mayotte, destroyed over 110,000 homes as it swept through the northern Cabo Delgado province. Iraq has announced plans to eliminate gas flaring. Gas flaring is a major contributor to methane emissions and environmental pollution. Iraq says it plans to achieve it by the end of 2027, hence accelerating its original 2030 target. Currently, Iraq is the world's 3rd largest gas flarer, burning 18 billion cubic meters of gas in 2023 alone, reports the World Bank. On to business and tech news now. Nordstorm will be acquired by its founding family and Mexican retailer Liverpool. The all-cash deal is worth $6.25 billion. After the takeover, Nordstorm will exit public markets and will go private. Nordstorm, which is an American departmental store chain, has been facing stiff competition from giants like Walmart and Target. Reports say Toyota is planning to build an electric vehicle plant in Shanghai. This plant will make the company's luxury brand car named Lexus. The factory will be operated by Toyota independently without any local partner. Toyota plans to start operations at the facility around 2027. Argentina's President Javier Milei revealed Argentina's nuclear plan. This project will strive to power the country's artificial intelligence sector through nuclear energy. Argentina will construct a small modular reactor, or an SMR, as part of the plan. This SMR will allow access to energy across the country. Japanese automaker Honda shares surged 16%. This after the company launched merger talks with its rival Nissan. Honda also announced a buyback program of up to $7 billion, signaling that the company thinks its stocks are undervalued. This marks Honda's largest ever buyback. British oil giant BP is facing legal trouble over crude oil supply to Israel. Gaza war victims have taken legal action against the company. They accuse BP of violating their own commitments to human rights. The root of the issue is a BP-run pipeline through which Israel gets 28% of its crude oil supply. The fate of the US-Japan steel deal will now be decided by US President Joe Biden. Talks about whether Nippon Steel's proposed takeover of the US steel poses national security risks fell through. It is likely that Biden will block the takeover of US steel by the Japanese steel maker. Shareholders of Arcadium Lithium have approved its sale to Australian mining giant Rio Tinto. The deal is estimated to be around $6.7 billion. Arcadium's share jumped 7% after its shareholders voted for the deal. This move will see Rio Tinto turn into the world's third largest lithium miner. Chocolate maker Cadbury has lost its royal warrant for the first time in 170 years. It was first awarded by Queen Victoria in 1854. The warrant was removed under King Charles's rule. Cadbury's owner, Mondelez International, said it is disappointed by the decision. The Starbucks strike in the United States intensified further. At least 300 stores have now been impacted. The strike follows stalled negotiations over wages, staffing and working conditions. The 5-day walkout ends today. The union representing the baristas predicts this to be the largest strike by the coffee chain. Japan and the United States have accused North Koreans of stealing crypto assets worth millions. The theft was allegedly carried out by a North Korean hacking group called the Traitor. They are accused of stealing cryptocurrency worth $300 million from the Japan-based exchange DMM Bitcoin. The heist was also confirmed by the US Federal Bureau of Investigation. Moving to sports, we start with cricket. Australia won the ICC Women's International title for the third time. They beat New Zealand by 75 runs in Wellington yesterday. The victory pushed Australia on top of the leadership board by 39 points. The total is beyond the reach of any other team. Indian pacer Akashdeep suggested that Team India was provided with inferior pitches to practice ahead of the fourth Border Gavaskar test. Akashdeep said that the pitches in Melbourne looked like white ball pitches, where I quote, "The ball was keeping a bit low." Melbourne Cricket Ground's pitch curator Matt Page denied these allegations. Indian pacer Mohammad Shami will not feature in the remaining two tests of Border Gavaskar Trophy. In a statement, the Indian Cricket Board (BCCI) said that Shami was not deemed fit for the remainder of India-Australia series due to issues with his knee. Meanwhile, all-rounder Tanush Kotian was added to India's squad in Australia. The two sides will play the fourth test of Border Gavaskar series starting December 26th. England's Ben Stokes has been ruled out of all formats of cricket for at least 3 months. This after the English Test captain suffered a hamstring injury. Stokes got injured during the third match of New Zealand Test series last week. Moving to football, Arsenal's Bukayo Saka suffered a hamstring injury as well. The star winger could be out of action for several months. The 23-year-old was forced off the field during Arsenal's clash with Crystal Palace on December 22. In another setback for Arsenal, Raheem Sterling has also been ruled out of the squad due to knee injury. The forward picked the injury last week during a practice session. A 30-year-old has been playing with Arsenal on loan from Chelsea. In tennis, Australia's Max Purcell has been provisionally suspended for doping. The total duration of the suspension remains unclear. The world number 12 in men's doubles admitted that he took an injection of vitamins above the allowable limit. British tennis star Katie Boulter and Australia's Alex de Minaur are now engaged. The longtime partners announced the news with a photo of the engagement ring on Instagram. Boulter wrote, and I quote, "We have been keeping a small secret." In chess, Indian Grandmaster Arjun Erigaisi will compete in the upcoming World Rapid and Blitz Championship in the United States. The 21-year-old's request for an expedited visa process to the US was accepted. Erigaisi's participation in the tournament was previously uncertain due to delayed visa process. The tournament will feature top chess players like Magnus Carlsen and Fabiano Caruana. Indian shooter Manu Bhaker was snubbed in the nominations of Major Dhyanchand Khel Ratna Award. The 22-year-old said that she submitted her name in the online portal for recognition. but the final list of 30 nominees did not feature her. Earlier this year in Paris, Bakir became the first Indian to win 2 medals in a single edition of Olympics. The Khel Ratna is India's top sports honour awarded annually. And finally, to the world of showbiz, Beyoncé's NFL halftime show will be streamed online on Netflix. She will take the stage in Houston during halftime of the Baltimore Ravens-Houston Texans match cup. However, the stream will end 3 years after it comes on the platform. Beyoncé is expected to sing songs from her Cowboy Carter album. Rapper Sean Combs has now been sued for sexual battery. The allegations have been brought on by his former male employee. The man claims that Combs forced him to have sexual intercourse with a woman. The case also mentioned Combs knowingly exposed and subsequently gave a celebrity guest COVID at his 51st birthday party. The lawsuit against Combs was filed in Los Angeles. It ends with us. Studio Sony Pictures has expressed their support towards actor Blake Lively. This comes after she filed a legal complaint alleging sexual harassment by director and co-star Justin Baldoni. The studio condemns any reputational attack on Lively. They stated, and I quote, "Any such attacks have no place in our business or in a civil society." Meanwhile, director and actor Justin Baldoni's prestigious award for women advocacy has been taken back. This comes after Blake Lively filed a sexual harassment complaint against him. On December 9, Baldoni received the Voices of Solidarity Awards from Vital Voices. Actor Alec Baldwin's Russ manslaughter case is finally over. The special prosecutor has now withdrawn her appeal of the case's dismissal. Baldwin was accused of involuntary manslaughter of cinematographer Halyana Hutchins. She died on the sets of the Rust movie after Baldwin fired a revolver during a scene. After Oppenheimer, Christopher Nolan will be directing The Odyssey. The makers are calling it a mythic action epic that will be shot across the world. Nolan has brought together a star-studded lineup with actors like Matt Damon, Tom Holland and Anne Hathaway. The film will open in theaters in 2026. American actor and director Denzel Washington has gotten baptized. He also received a minister's license at New York City Church. This comes weeks after the actor stated in a press conference that being religious in Hollywood is not fashionable. Washington's wife was also present at the ceremony. The production of the 5th season of Stranger Things has wrapped up production. Actor Millie Bobby Brown shared images from the set with whom she has been associated for 9 years. The actor can be seen crying on the set while saying goodbye to everyone. She said in the video, and I quote, "I am nowhere near ready to leave you guys. I love each and every one of you." A Brazilian adaptation of David Fincher's acclaimed 2002 thriller Panic Room is in the making. Brazilian actor Isis Valverde will be stepping into the lead role. The actor said, and I quote, "2024 has been a challenging year, generous year for me, full of possibilities, plans and projects." The story revolves around a woman and her child who seek refuge in a panic room after burglars invade their home. And finally, in India, veteran filmmaker Shyam Benegal has passed away in Mumbai. He was 90 years old. Benegal was suffering from a chronic kidney-related disease. His successful films include Manthan, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, The Forgotten Hero and Well Done Abba. The filmmaker is survived by his wife Neera Benegal and daughter Pia Benegal. That's all for today. Thank you for joining us. I am Gusheen Galan and we'll see you right back here tomorrow. Stay informed and stay tuned to First Post.